Hello and welcome back to the channel. And this has been something that I've been thinking about for a little while now, and it's another discussion video. There'll be another one towards the end of this month. But the discussion is, when am I going to stop collecting? When is enough? When am I going to say enough is enough and call it there? Um, and to be honest, I don't have anything written down, for like topics to cover for this. So I'm just gonna wing it and hope for the best. So the reason why I've been thinking about this is because it's coming up to 4 years since I've been on this channel, and by the time this comes out, there'll be maybe two or three more monthly pickups videos that I'm going to do before I call it quits. Um, and then well, then what? What am I going to stop collecting? And the answer is I don't know. Is to be honest, is the honest answer, because there's still a lot for me to get in my collection. My only issue is that I aren't finding what I need for my collection. I'm very rarely finding something that I need. Like, okay, for example, for the last few pickups videos, they've been somewhat shorter than usual. I'm used to posting, 30-minute monthly pickups, and recently, there's been a few times, one time where it's like 14 minutes because I just wasn't picking up enough. And then about 20 minutes. I don't know how long April's one is because I still have yet to finish that. But like, just for example, the week of the 15th of April alone, I've only picked up one thing, and that was Casanova, the David Tennant version of Casanova. And that's it. I've been going in to all these places, charity shops, CEX, and all of that, and I just haven't finding anything. So that's kind of becoming a question as well. Not only just that, like space. Space is another thing. Like, is that going to be something that right now it's not necessarily an issue much. I have four bookcases in this room. You can see three of them behind me. This one where my hand is, this hand right here, that's my Doctor Who and Star Trek collection. That's a lot of my classic Doctor Who's, my modern Doctor Who's, and nearly all my Star Treks. The bookcase that I'm in front of, where the TV is, that's all my Blu-rays. Blu-ray movies, to be precise, because I have some Blu-rays in here, and I have some Blu-rays over here with my TV show section, and then I have another smaller bookcase off to the side here, that holds my DVD movies. See that one right there? That's that one. And they're not full, but they're getting pretty close to. You know, like with the Star Trek and Doctor Who one, the only way I can see that getting full is if I go back to collecting, classic Doctor Who releases, from Amazon and CEX and stuff like that. That is the only time that I can see that happening. As for Star Trek, uh, I have nearly all of it. So, and where it's at now is probably where it's going to end up being, because there's not much for me left to collect for. I think for Star Trek, I have all of the original series. I have the animated series. I have Next Gen. I'm missing seasons 2, 3. Just two and three of for Deep Space Nine, because I have 1, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I'm only missing two seasons for that one. And then I have all of Voyager. I have all of Enterprise. I have seasons 3, and 4 of Discovery. I have season 1 of Prodigy. I have seasons 1 to 4 of Lower Decks. And I have season 2 and 3 of Picard. And then I have season 2 of Which one is it? Yeah. Strange New Worlds. Am I right on that front? Yes. Yeah. So there's very few that I'm missing for that. In terms of Doctor Who, like I said, it's a lot more of the classics, and then the more recent the Shooty Gatwa stuff that isn't the cheap Blu-ray specials. Because I'm not dropping €70 for 8 episodes of a series on Blu-ray or DVD, or like 40, 50, 60 for the DVD for 8, 9 episodes, one of which I already have, and a heap of extras that I don't care for that are readily available on YouTube. And that's something that I've noticed with, not just the Doctor Who box sets, but box sets in general. TV series box sets are starting to creep back up in price. Back to where it was when I was younger. Where it's a lot more expensive for a box set, where you could be dropping like 100 plus on a box set. So getting back on topic, will I stop collecting? When will I call it enough? I just don't know, I'm still enjoying the hobby. I'm not getting burnt out on it. I may be getting burnt out on the YouTube side of things every now and again. But in terms of collecting, not really. Now, granted, you're probably also asking, you have over 800 DVDs, Blu-rays, and VHS. Do you watch it all? And the answer is, I've watched most of what I have in my collection. Out of the 800 or so DVDs and Blu-rays and VHS that I own, I think 200 odd are ones that I haven't seen. Which is a pretty good margins, if you ask me, in terms of what I've seen and what I haven't seen. I'm glad for that. I'm glad that but also doing this channel has allowed me to actually experience a lot of these new movies and stuff. But I'm not clamoring to go out to get these new releases, because again, it's going to be something that I mentioned in a video later on this month that I've filmed before this one. I just collect within my means. I don't have. I just dropped a dice. I don't have a lot of money to blow on, spending on these like boutique labels and stuff like that. I collect within my means, and at the moment, I'm just not finding anything, which usually tells me that I might need to take a trip up to Dublin soon. But that's going to require me to save for that, because I usually blow through like €200 when I go take a trip up to Dublin. But as it stands for right now, I don't think I am going to stop, but I don't think I'll be collecting I don't think this will be like a permanent thing. There probably will become a point where, I'm like, okay, this is enough. It's time to scale back. Keep what I want to keep. Get rid of what I don't want to, what I don't want. Just in case, in the future, I might, I'm single now, but like, just in case I manage to get into a relationship that progresses on to, wanting kids, that would mean I'd have to turn this room into a child's room again. And it hasn't been that for 21 years. Was the last time it became a child's room, because I grew up in this room. I mentioned that in a few videos. But I definitely think there will come a point where I'll just sit down and look at everything that I have in my collection, and I'm just like, right, it's time to do what AJ did, and it's time to cull from my collection. But I'm not at that point yet. I'm only 27, so I don't know when I'll reach that point, but I can see myself reaching that point, because like I said, I have a lot that I don't in my collection that I haven't seen. I'm probably never going to get around to it all. So that will probably be in that instance where I'll hit that point where I'm just like, right, half of this shit needs to go, because I'll be running out of space, or just something like that. I'll be like, okay, now it's time to downscale my collection, because it's not, I've seen this happen not just with like, like as I said, AJ when he did his culling series. Because he had like multiple different versions of like the same movie. The amount of times that man's collected different versions of Barbie back when when that movie came out in 2023 is no joke. Well, it became kind of a running joke for a little bit. But where was I? Yeah, it'll get to a point where I'm just like, okay, I'm running out of space here. I don't have space for another bookcase. Let me start to take out what I don't need. Because, like I said, I've seen AJ do it, and I've seen video game collectors do it. Collectors, some collectors will reach that point where they might look and say, right, I have like 500 Nintendo games, any NES games. I only play like 50 of them. Let me sell off the rest. This could be the same for the Sega Genesis or Mega Drive, the N64, PlayStation, all that. I could reach that point where I'm like, okay, time to get rid of a lot of this stuff. And the TV show will probably be the only one that might not have that happen. Because I love TV. I think I love TV more than I do movies. So that's why like you might see me collect more TV shows than I would movies. But at the same time, I think I have like more movies than I do TV series. Anyway, yeah, you get what I'm trying to say here. I'm rambling on now, but you get what I'm trying to say. But anyway, that is going to wrap this video up. I hope that answered. I hope I got my point across properly. That at this point in time, I don't see myself stopping, but in the near future, I might scale it back a bit to only the things that I really want in my collection. I've been loving collecting for VHS, even though I very rarely see them, and I'm not buying online. And that is simply because I just can't be arsed dealing with buying abroad and having to pay import tax, especially with the whole tariff situation. Because again, I'm filming this on the 15th. I think I mentioned this. I'm filming this on the 15th of April. So I don't know what way it's going to be like when this video comes out in a month from now on the 12th. So anyway, I've been rambling. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. The next video is going to be a Tales from my backlog. It's the only Tales from my backlog this month, because in case in case you didn't see my Thunderbolt Cinevlog, there's going to be quite a few Cinevlogs this month because there's a lot of movies I want to see. We had Thunderbolts at the beginning of the year. We're going to have my Final Destination Bloodline Cinevlog on the 19th, and then at the end of the month we'll have my Karate Kid Legends Cinevlog. But anyway, I'm rambling. I'll catch you all on the very next upload.